In the biggest game of the late afternoon slate, we got to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Cowboys are coming off of a couple big wins sandwiched by their bye week, and they're building off some momentum. They dismantled the LA Rams 43-20, and the Eagles, despite them being at 7-1, they haven't looked always the greatest. They've had some shakiness, but still finding ways to win. And Jalen Hurts, I mean, what a gutsy performance. He took a direct shot to the injured knee that he already had, and I thought at this moment that he maybe has sprained his MCL or even tore something in the knee, but seemed to have been able to shake it off. He didn't even miss a snap in the game, and in the second half, when you think his legs are limited, he goes out on a QB scramble and later drops a dime of a pass to Devontae Smith for the go-ahead touchdown to give the Eagles a lead that they would not relent. The Eagles secondary is still shaky at times. I mean, it's clear that slot cornerback and their linebackers really struggle to cover receivers on a consistent basis, and even in their secondary in terms of cornerbacks like James Bradbury, he's been pretty shaky. The safeties at times are good, but also let tight ends and receivers run open as well. The Kevin Byard trade is still a work in progress. I'm not ready to say that it's been a bust just yet. It's very, very early to say that. And now they get the benefit of going into their bye week to try to rehash some defensive concepts in Sean Desai's defense. But after the first half, when they gave up 17 points, in the second half, they only gave up 6, and that was with 3 drives with the Dallas offense getting inside the 10-yard line, and to only come away with 6 points is a massive disappointment, and big credit to the Eagles defense for getting stops. On the first sequence, they had an opportunity on 4th down to get a touchdown. It seemed that Luke Schoonmaker was able to get in for a 4th down conversion for a touchdown, but great play by Reed Blankenship to tackle him short, just about maybe inches away from the goal line, and the Eagles were able to get a 4th down stop there. On the next sequence, it seemed that Dallas was poised to redeem themselves. They got a touchdown, but you know the 2-point conversion is coming up. But credit to Brandon Graham, who was able to force Dak Prescott out just in time before getting inside the pylon to get the deficit within 3, a field goal to tie up the game. So the lead remains at 5, and unfortunately for the Eagles, their offense seemed to sputter in the fourth quarter. It seemed like it was poised to be a fourth quarter collapse, because on the next and final possession for Dallas, it seemed that when they really needed it, they were getting the plays that they needed through penalties, a pass interference, an unnecessary roughness by Hassan Reddick, and then an offside penalty by Jalen Carter. This gave them a massive amount of yardage to even flip the field. I mean, they started the drive inside their own 15. A penalty on DPI by James Bradbury gives the ball at midfield, a personal foul, an extra 15. And next thing you know, you're in the red zone yet again. And basically at that point, it's advantage Dallas. The win percentage from the 6-yard line was actually at 72% favoring Dallas at that moment. Then this led off a catastrophic set of events for Dallas, and this comes from a false start, then a sack that you really can't have at that moment. The right tackle, Terrence Steele, gets beat by Josh Sweat, and then you have to clock it at that situation. I think maybe the down is more important. That's why Dak elected to try to give Michael Gallup a shot there, but just didn't seem like it was a real opportunity there. And then you get to 3rd down, which is 5 seconds left. So that's really the game right there, but delay of game pushes it back even more, and then you're outside of the 20-yard line at that moment, and you get CeeDee Lamb on a nice route, but he's 3 yards short, and he's trying to make a play, but he is swarmed by a sea of green jerseys, tackled short of the goal line, and game over. Eagles win. They move on to 8-1 and get a crucial divisional win, a crucial conference win, and now they have a 2.5 game lead heading into what is going to be a gauntlet schedule coming up after they return from the bye week. Their next few games, they end up playing Kansas City on the road on Monday night after their bye week. Then they host Buffalo, host the San Francisco 49ers in a rematch of the NFC Championship game, and then they travel to Dallas and later Seattle. So that is a lot of traveling right there out west. There's also a couple of tough home matchups as well. If the Eagles can get out of that 5-game stretch at a minimum of 2 losses and 3 wins, that puts them at 11-3 on the year with 3 games left in the year. And that would be enough to probably lock up the NFC's 1 seed at that moment, just given that the other teams have taken losses and they have such a sizable gap right now. But that's a lot easier said than done because they have some injuries to worry about. They're getting healthier, but they did suffer a big injury to Dallas Goedert, who seems to have fractured his forearm. He's going to be missing at least 4 games for the foreseeable future, so that's a big loss right there. But hopefully he's able to come back at a later point this year and be part of the offense moving forward, because they're going to need him for the postseason like they did last year. For Dallas, I can't truly blame Dak Prescott 100%. I think this is more to do with management and situational football. We've seen in a lot of cases that Dallas doesn't get the situational football type of scenarios consistently, right? They miss out on clock management, they miss out on down and distance. You can say that stepping out of bounds and maybe the pass to Scootmaker could have been a little bit better to get into the end zone, okay. But Dak honestly played really well. No turnovers, threw for a ton of yards and 3 touchdown passes. Was really the best player on the field last year. Was really the best player on the field on Sunday, and I can't truly blame Dak for that. And it's going to be really tough the second matchup over in Dallas, and if they were even to play each other in a third matchup in the playoffs, that would be very tough for the Eagles to get through that. But Dallas, I think right now they've buried themselves into a wild card position, but I think they still feel that they can match up with Philly pretty well if they see them again later this year, especially in the postseason.